Hi everybody, my name is Cynthia, and actually people call me Cyn, which is appropriate because my chef husband and I started a restaurant called Hell's Kitchen in downtown Minneapolis. We're into our 24th year. He always called every restaurant kitchen because kitchens did not used to be air conditioned. Wherever he worked, he says, I'm in Hell's Kitchen. I find it wildly appropriate that we found a location that is underground. The menu that Mitch made at home, actually, he comes from a family that also cooked. They had a catering company. He also cooked real down-to-earth meals, and those are the ones that he wanted for Hell's Kitchen. Lemon Riccota hotcakes, a camera roll that he got from his aunt, that his aunt got from someone in Ely. The lemon ricotta hotcakes, to describe them in full, they're swoon-worthy. It has almost a lacy edge to it, and they're very, very thin. When you take a bite, a good close word would be almost like a well-cooked custardy taste. They are made out of lemon zest, fresh ricotta cheese, and a mixture of flour, of course. I'm so glad they were on since day one, and here we are 24 years later. Toasted sausage bread, which is from 2002, and it was a very hard sell, if you can imagine selling some toasted sausage bread, but it's a dense bread made out of coffee grounds and walnut. There aren't pieces of meat or anything in it. It just has that flavoring. It has a spicy bite, and we serve it with our peanut butter, which we've also served since day one. Mitch made his own peanut butter. I have no idea why he decided he wanted to have all of his own condiments. It's become our number one item. We ended up with one of the largest collections of Gonzo Art by Ralph Steadman in the United States. And the story behind the artwork is decades in the making before the restaurant. When I met Mitch, he was tattooed all over. I didn't know that was my thing, but it became my thing because I instantly fell in love with all of the tattoos. It was a particular artist of which I had never heard of. I said, who did this? And he says, well, Ralph Steadman. It turns out that Ralph Steadman is the artist that created the term Gonzo Art. On his 50th birthday, I found out that Ralph Steadman, who lives in London, was coming to a gallery in Denver. Then when we were landing, and I said, we're gonna meet him. Mitch became his best friend instantly. So Mitch asked Ralph to sign his arm, and Ralph autographed it, and then Mitch ran out and got it tattooed. We also make something called Manuman porridge, which Mitch was so into history, and especially Native American history and culture. He was reading an early trapper's journal, and in there they talked about making this porridge from berries and wild rice. He took that seed of an idea. You add more cream and sugar. You get native harvested long grain rice. A little sweet, a little tart. It's just delicious. The Manuman porridge took on a life of its own. We still have it on the menu, but that's astonishing because of anything that was on our menu, there has never been a more popular item than our Manuman porridge. And when we first opened, nobody wanted it. So, the servers tried to explain it, and sometimes Mitch explained it, but whenever he explained it, people loved it. And I didn't realize is he was taking out samples. The Minnesota room has a whole thing on Native Americans that Mitch and I personally got all the rocks for. Huevos rancheros. We do layers of tortillas, hand fried. We add our own black beans, which have got a nice kick to them. The soft scrambled eggs. We add whatever the customer wants on top. Sausage patties. We can do bacon. Multiple textures you get. It is an explosion in your mouth. Mitch died in 2016 at the age of 61. After a long illness, he passed away, and it was a surprise to me. We took a bunch of our savings and formed an ESOP, employee stock ownership program. Hell's Kitchen became owned by the employees. Mitch still lives on. His vision still lives on. His cooking acumen still lives on. What the hell is a ham and pear crisp? The outside has a spicy cinnamon and butter smothered on each side, and when you grill it, it crisps on the inside. You're going to have melted fontina cheese, a grilled piece of ham. They melt into each other. So that grilled and the outside is grilled. I've got so many love letters to Minnesota you can't even imagine. Pan-fried walleye. Remember, I'm from New York City. I don't know fishing, but I know enough about walleye to understand that it's almost called the ghost fish. If you're in Minnesota, how could you miss trying something that's not only officially the state fish, but in our hearts, also the state fish, sauteed in a pan. It's a crispy, it's tangy, it's got that lemony taste. So we make our own relish, which is basically a tartar sauce, and it's made with freshly cut vegetables, scallions, a perfect blend. Above us, from the street level up, our glistening towers. Downtown Minneapolis is a sea of glass and concrete buildings and world headquarters of many companies. Then you come down here and you walk into a place that we're underground, and we take advantage of being on the darker side. Up above us is all the stress. That's where the money is. That's where people make deals. There's this crazy, what should be hell above us. We are their heaven.